White Hats, and in this episode, I decided we should talk a little bit about one of the most, well, possibly discouraging and frustrating parts of learning to program, and that is debugging. And also, while we do that, we're going to go ahead and, I know I'm running a little slow here, but we're going to go ahead and try to get that one accomplishment of getting that radio broadcast tower. We'll try. If we don't get it in a few tries, then I'll move on to doing some side missions, stuff like that, just kind of progress along. But anyways, yeah, so the topic is debugging. Now, I was able to go back and add some more examples on my Java page for the open source computer science, and I'll try to leave another link for that in the description. I do have several links in a lot of the videos, so if you don't see the link in a video you're watching, try going and checking just basically any of the other. Oh, there we go. Okay, now careful. So we're up here. Oh, no. Alright, and honestly, I don't remember how to do this, but I know. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, debugging, and I just fell off. In fact, there might be an even easier way up. I mean, I know you can get to that. How did I used to do this? Let's go to the front. Maybe it's in the front. But anyways, so yeah, so definitely go check out the Java page. There are some examples, like I said. I just did a basic Hello World program and an example for control flow, which are useful. And they're even useful in the very early stages of debugging. Oh no, I fell. Alright, I can already tell there's a good chance we're not going to actually get this. I remember it took me a lot of tries every time I've done it. I've done it quite a few times, but yeah, honestly, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, actually, you know what? I think I see it. See, sometimes it takes it, and this is this is relevant to debugging. Say you have a problem. You can see the goal. It's the radio tower up there. It's on my mini-map now, and you can tell there's some green light. Now, I don't know if that's exactly indicative of the way you're supposed to go, but I can see right now, I know I can jump to that balcony, and I think I can jump to that balcony where it'll be an easier way up. So let's see if we can figure out this problem. And yeah, let's finally dive in and talk about the actual problem of debugging. So debugging refers to when you have a program and it's not working as you would expect. Now, there could be several different things going on. One of the most common ones I've found is okay, oh no. Okay, so we're getting closer. One of the most common ones is misspelling. Now, I know it's a little harder to misspell things in computer science because, honestly, like a lot of the variables, you decide how they're spelled. There is no technical wrong way to spell things when you're declaring variables. In fact, a lot of things do look misspelled by the common conception as like num, num1, num2, or var, or something like that. They're not real words. They're more like keywords that are simplified so people can use them easier. Okay. Alright, let's see about this. Let's see. No? Okay. But anyways, so debugging. You've got a program. You've written it. It looks like it should work. And it can be really frustrating. Nope. Okay. So, oh! Did I do it? No. I fell down. Alright. Okay, so yeah, I honestly feel like I need to jump on top of the edge. Okay, well, we're getting better at this. I mean, and it's going to be annoying because that radio station is going to play the entire time that we do this. But anyways, so yeah, debugging. A lot of times it's misspellings, or, with Java, they have the syntax of, okay, actually, let me focus on this real quick. Ah, dang it. Right, is there another way? Because I almost feel like you can stand on this thing. Yeah, that might have been how I did it before. No. Let's try walking along this thing to this side. Yeah, because once you get up there, then it's really not too bad climbing. Alright, we'll give it a few more goes and then we'll move on. But anyways, debugging. So you've got a program. It looks like it should work, but there could be something simple like a misspelling or an uneven amount of brackets. Like, since we were talking about Java in the beginning, that's another huge reasons for bugs being in code. So every time, the syntax with Java is every time you make a new method or class file or something like that, or even if-else statements or for loops, they all require brackets. Now the brackets, oh, could I go the other way? No, oh, alright. Let's see. Nope. I'm trying to just land on this. Okay. Alright. Oh, I missed it. Alright, you know what? Let's just move on. That's going to take me a while. I could do that off camera in my own time. I'm obviously getting sidetracked. So let's see what next mission we have. Alright, so we've got our mission logs here. We got Porta Prison. Actually, let's do that real quick because that gets you a nice rocket launcher, grenade launcher that's pretty gruesome, but it actually is pretty powerful. Let's go there. Okay, so yes, debugging. Like I said, it is one of the easiest ways for people to get discouraged when programming. Oh, and there's another mission. Let's get that as well. So, anyways, and like I said, with Java, one of the big things is misplaced brackets. And like I said, or other types of syntax, which are the grammatical rules for the programming language. So, another big one with Java is adding a semicolon at the end of, well, most of the lines. And see, it's kind of tricky at first when you're learning Java because some lines, you know, you have an opening curly bracket and that's all you need at the end of that line, whereas other lines, they need a semicolon. So, you know, eventually you'll get good at spotting that, and definitely as you're writing new code, look back at some of the examples that I'll provide and just kind of see what's different, what's missing in your program that's present in the example programs, like specifically curly brackets or semicolons. Now with Python is a little bit easier because you don't need semicolons as much and you don't need curly brackets. What Python uses to keep code separate is indentation or tabs. So as long as you have the correct tabs, okay, yeah, I've got plenty of room in my inventory, then you should be good. So, but then again, that problem of misspelling still is a thing. So you want to make sure, okay, so Porta Prison is just right to the left. Alright, so yeah, like when you declare a variable, and I actually did this, I wrote a program to check Sudoku solutions, and it was driving me crazy because I knew it should be working. Oh, yeah.
Citizen. Keep Promethea clean.
I missed you, boy.
Huh. Oh, also,
That's the spirit.
is this one of them? No, this is just a normal one. Never mind. I was going to say, in this area, it's really good to hijack cars that have the hover wheels, and they just blew themselves up. Wonderful. Alright, so let's not do that quite yet. Ratchet up is also a really good one. Let's go ahead and do that. So, anyways, like I said, I was doing a Sudoku solver, and it looked like it should have worked. So, like, for all intents and purposes, the program was working. I had it basically checking different subsections of... Okay, let me start over. So, Sudoku is a puzzle game that has 9 sections of 9 numbers that all total 1 through 9. You have to have all the numbers 1 through 9 in each little sub-square. Oops, I gotta get out of the car. And then you also need to have all the numbers 1 through 9 in each row, and then all the numbers 1 through 9 in each column. I know, it sounds a little complicated at first, but if you haven't done Sudoku, I highly recommend puzzles like that. They definitely help with your critical thinking, stuff like that. So anyways, my program, I had it checking all the rows and all the columns, and sure enough, all the numbers were present. However, in hindsight, I later figured out why I was failing one of the test cases, because this was a challenge on Code Wars, and it was because I wasn't following the third rule, and I should know this as I love to do Sudoku puzzles, is they also have to have all the numbers in each of the little subgrids. So, you know, think about like a number pad for an old school phone. You've got, you know, 1 through 3 on top, 4 through 6 in the middle, and 7 through 9 on the bottom. Well, those could be like kind of like numbers relating, or like indexes of each little subgrid. And if you overlay that over a Sudoku board, you can get like, so subgrid number 1 is the group of 9 squares in the farthest top left where the 1 button would be, and so on for 1, 2, 3 all the way through 9. Anyways, I had already done that, or well, no, at this point I hadn't done that. I wasn't checking the subgrids. All the numbers were actually 1 through 9 in each row and each column, and that's why I was confused. I was like, I can clearly see that they're all there, but yeah, like I said, I wasn't in hindsight, I was failing a test case and I wasn't understanding it, so I had to take a step back and realize, oh, I was forgetting the third condition of how a Sudoku puzzle is solved. So, very, silly mistake in hindsight, but something that, I'm guilty of, and I've been programming hundreds of these Python programs for Code Wars, literally hundreds, and that tripped me up. So, anyways, once I figured that out, I made the little, I adjusted my algorithm to also check for the subgrids, and I did that with little nested for loops, checking the specific locations. Oh, and also later we can break this once we open the first vault. Oh, and here's the other Typhon de Leon thing. I think this is the last one we need, and then we finally get the Typhon de Leon chest. Anyways, I digress. So, yeah, once I figured that out, it was a simple matter. Oh, okay, let's listen to this real quick. These are fun.
Zero, you're back! And in one piece? Not that I doubted you. I will never doubt you. I'm rambling. What do you have?
On the Sonara, a family tree burns to ash. Listen for yourself.
What an absolute honor to have all of my dearest siblings here today on the Sonara. Yuko, good to see you. Go easy on that nacho fountain though, sis. Isaku, glad you made it. Sana, enjoying the Narian cigars, are you? Don't see Naoko. Maybe she's using the restroom. It's got a dual propulsion bidet. Watch out. It's been too long since we've had a family reunion. Now I know what you're thinking. Why am I wasting your time? The answer is the Zanara, this pleasure yacht, commissioned using my inheritance. Sporting technology and wealth plundered from the corporate war. Our mother and father gave us everything, didn't they? See, that's the problem. Instead of acquiring new business ventures, we're coasting on interest. I'm looking at you, Isaku, Yuko, Sana. So I'm thinking, it's time for a merger. And I've got my eye on quite the prize. We need to bring new blood into the Malawan family. But unfortunately, that means I need to trim a few limbs from the old family tree. Holy crap, he just murdered his entire family? Zero, what was he talking about? All that, time for a merger? Was it with Dahl? Hyperion? Tedior? Zero, tell me it's Tedior!
His warships approach. Karagawa's merger starts. He comes for Atlas.
Okay, so those are just really fun to listen to kind of give you a backstory. And that was actually what happened. Oh, and I just figured out where we got to go. We got to go in there, and then up there, and then that loops back around. If we look at the mini-map, then we can loop all the way back around, and instead of going inside like we were supposed to, and in fact we need to do that to find Terry, we go over here, and we get the last one of those. So, bada bing, bada boom. There's a lot of going back and forth in this game, trying to find things that you previously missed. So, also I'm trying out this new pistol. It has radiation status effects. It also has a low... Yeah, it has a low clip size, so I'm not sure if I really like it a whole lot. I mean, I like my Torg pistol pretty nicely, so I might switch that. But anyways, debugging. So, the Sudoku problem solver, I figured out the flaw in my algorithm, and again, I had to take a step back, look at the instructions again, and figure out what I was missing, because obviously I was missing something since I was failing a test case. And that's the reason that they put that test case in there, was because they knew that people might just jump ahead and be like, oh, well, I fixed the first two. Ooh, actually, what's this? Okay, actually, you know what? I like both of those. This one might be better. I mean, that one's pretty good too. I don't know, but we only have 2 slots. So, yeah, I'm going to keep those original two. I already spent my skill point. Okay, anyways, back to the Sudoku problem. So, I took a step back, looked at the problem again, realized my mistake, and that's a bug. Technically, that is a bug, too. So, not checking that third condition, even though my program worked flawlessly for what I thought it was supposed to do, it wasn't completing the mission or the objectives of the program. So, anyways, once I figured that out, I did a couple, or actually 9, 9 new sections of code to check each of the 9 subgroups. And you know, it wasn't all that bad in hindsight. It was actually pretty easy once I got like the first one done. I just had to figure out what the coordinates were in the 2D array to check those little subgroups and then set the limits of my loops accordingly. And I'll get into all that. In fact, I think I'm going to include the Sudoku solver program as one of my examples, just because there is so much going on in there that's really helpful to people learning how to code complex programs. Anyways, I ended up having another problem, and that's why I bring up spelling. Now, like I said, you can spell your variables anything you like, anything nonsensical, and as long as you use the same spelling every time you use that variable, you're good. You're good to go. I mean, if it's var1, then you use var1. If it's num1, num1. You know, stuff like that. You know, if it's supercalifragilistic, which would be a horrible name for a variable, you want to keep them nice, short, succinct, and you want them to be descriptive of the value that they're holding. So yeah, something like that, not a good idea. Oh, we got some enemies.
Yes, into the fray.
I mean, if you get a lot of direct hits with this one, it's actually a pretty good gun, but actually, I'm going to do this mid-fight. You can do this. You can pause. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw that there, and let's use the new rare gun that we got. Although it's not that good, but it's a... Well, let's take a look at it real quick. So it's a COV. Oops. So if you push on the R3, it's a poo cannon. The Porta Pooper 5000. So, yeah. And you'll see why here in a second. So let's actually go ahead and test this. Oh, there's a... It's launching poo at him. Oh, these are power troopers. It's like the Power Rangers. You got pink over there, you got black. Okay, well, I'm gonna murk these fools. Okay. Oh, come on. There we go. Killed the pink one. There's the red power trooper. Alright. Oh, they're kind of strong. That's why I wanted to switch back to my Tord gun, because this thing is very powerful. There's the yellow. Yeah, this is a little Easter egg, so let me point out, it's like the Power Rangers. You got the yellow trooper, I killed the pink trooper, I killed the black one, killed the red one, killed the yellow one. What's this one? This is the red one, so I didn't finish him off. Okay. So yeah, and you'll see stuff like this placed throughout the game. Oh, and we got a legendary for killing all of the... Ooh, let's try this out. Oh, it's a Malawong. Alright, so that's a pretty cool weapon effect that you'll sometimes see. So as it shoots, it hits, and then it floats up, and then it explodes for even more damage. So that's pretty cool. I think I got that because I killed all the Power Rangers. But for copyright purposes, they probably call them Power Troopers. But you can draw the connection. Same with the Rick and Morty that we didn't find. I know that there's a Rick and Morty that maybe you have to go back to Electricity, where we fought Kilovolt and see him. Let's listen to Typhon too.
After I found the vault, Atlas kept me on retainer, which is a fancy corporate word that means we'll pay you to sit around and do bumpkus. My contract had something called a non-compete clause, which I didn't read, because who reads contracts anyway? Big mistake.
Come on. The brown snake's poking
If the Atlas Corporation had retained Typhon de Leon, I'm sure they would have been more successful on Pandora. Ah, yes, your loot cache awaits.
Okay, and we can go ahead and open this one because, I mean, honestly, I'm going to forget to come back and get the other ones. I know we had one on Pandora that we opened up and another one on Athenas, but yeah, it's basically like one of those red chests that we found a long time ago. They're really good chests, usually they're really good. They have good loot, good guns, and they scale to whatever level you are. And actually, scaling, that's a good computer science term. Well, let's talk about that briefly too, just so you're familiar with it. So scaling means that your program works... What the? Oh, it's the gun that's talking. Okay, that had me confused. Anyway, sorry, I was hearing someone talking. I thought it was an enemy. It was my gun. But anyways, let's see. Find Terry, but also... let's see. The Typhon de Leon gun cache. There it is. So it turns to green. Remember, actually, it's right next to where we need to go. So we need to go over here to the stairs. We'll mark that. And then we'll go up there, we'll get the gun cache, we'll find Terry, we'll do that mission. But anyways, scaling is a very... Or never mind, that's... Or there's a claptrap thing here. See, we keep finding new things. But anyways, scaling means that your program works regardless of the input or the scope of what you're trying to accomplish. So, like... You can do what's called hard coding and make your program work for specific values. Like say you set a loop size to like just a range of numbers that you hard code in. Whereas if you want your program to be scalable, it can work for any size of numbers based on the input. So, and we'll definitely do some examples on that. That's a little more complex, but since I mentioned it as an effect and as a game mechanic, it's worth noting. All right, and let's listen to this.
Rough night? Yeah, I know he's dead. Let me have this. The guy must have been expecting some action. He was packing a serious firewall. Smart move. You never know what kind of nasty network someone's been interfacing with. Knew a guy who dated a TDR shotgun, and his wheel rotted right off his axle.
Nasty. Alright, and so also firewalls. Check out my security section because I will be adding some examples of some more kind of like blue team stuff, I think. I gotta be careful because I don't want to just throw stuff up that I just learned in this boot camp because technically that could be like stealing their information. I mean, it's their teaching materials. I would have to translate it, you know, paraphrase. The same way you get around plagiarism when you're basically trying to write a paper and you read a whole bunch of other people's papers. And yeah, so same concept. Alright, but I digress. The Sudoku problem solver. I got the algorithm to where it looked like it should have been working, and I was very frustrated because I was like, okay, what's going on? I found out what I was missing. You know, I realized I wasn't checking the subgrids, but now I am. And then it turns out it was a simple spelling error, and I don't know how. I was working on Replit, or wait, no, I was actually working directly on the Code Wars site, which you can do. I mean, that's another great way to practice coding. Is they provide their own kind of terminal, they provide their own text editor, all that stuff. All right, let's see what's in type on this dead cache or dead job cache. Okay, so not the best. There's a Vladov sniper. Ooh, actually, you know what? I love these guns. Jacobs, again. Just because they just slap. Alright, so we're going to see. We'll take the rest of these. I mean, I think it's time to switch to some new guns anyway. Actually, let me drop some whites. Just for some good old capitalism. But yeah, my whole problem was I had misspelled the variable names that I was changing throughout the program. So... And maybe I'll even point out what I misspelled if I can. I'm pretty sure I remember which ones it was. But yeah, I had some variables that I was using to check the subgrids, and as I was changing them, I was printing the output. So I was using techniques from the Hello World concept, the Hello World program, and putting in print statements to see what had happened.
Boy, Terry really lives like an animal. Look around. Maybe he left like a day planner or something? Not that he really seems like a day planner kind of guy. There's gotta be a clue in there somewhere. Maybe look behind stuff? I know I always hide clues to my location behind random stuff. It's a nervous habit.
Okay, so we shot the alcohol jug, and now we got
secret
this.
Door? Terry's a janitor. What secrets does he need to keep? Don't answer that. Every possible answer is gross.
Anyway, so...
That's one of the old skunk works labs. Yeah, I shut it down after all the accidents. I said that all spooky, but it was just a lot of paper cuts. Prometheus' healthcare system is a nightmare. It was just cheaper to shut down the lab. I'm nervous about paper cuts now. Keep looking around while I go find my little rubber finger guards.
Okay, and also let's listen to this too. Let's see, it's Terry's science diary. So these are good to do, especially when you're doing these missions.
I gotta save my friend, he's sick. I know I'm just a janitor, but I gotta do something. I saw an ad on the Econet for online courses in advanced surgery and neuroscience. 100% guaranteed degree at 10% the price. That could work. I mean, you can't put something on the Econet if it's not true, right?
Yep, and spoilers, that's supposed to be a jab at the internet. And yes, there is a lot of misinformation or untrue facts on the internet. Quote-unquote facts. Alright, let's see. You can also shoot these. They have loot. Oh, yeah. I'm already liking this pistol. Fires really fast. Okay. But anyways, so that was a perfect example of how I did a misspelling bug.
Is it safe? Terry? Terry, is that you? happening out there, Terry?
Who are you?
You aren't Terry! Where is he? What have you done to Terry? He's supposed to let me out when it's safe.
Are you a captive against your will?
What? No. He locked me in here to keep me safe from the others. He was gonna let me out once the coast was clear, but it's been a while. Man, I hope he's okay. Could you get me out of here? The door controls are on the other side of that glass. Yeah, right there. That's the door control.
Okay, so we got to deal with rats, these little rat-like things. So, anyways, yeah, like I was saying, that's a perfect example of how I was writing some code that I had done, several times before. I was pretty familiar with two-dimensional arrays and how to traverse them, how to analyze the values in them. I'll definitely be adding examples of that because it's really cool. You have to use what's called nested for loops, where you have a loop inside a loop. That way you can loop through each of the items in a column, or no, sorry, each of the items in a row, and then move on to the next column and do that for all of them. Or actually, you could do it either way, I suppose. You could do, as long as you kind of keep track of what you're trying to do. You're analyzing all the values in a column, and then you move to the next row, or all the values in a row, and then you move on to the next column. Anyways, I digress. And is that what we're supposed to do? Yeah, that thing's locked.
Good boy.
We gotta go all the way through here, and I think that's on purpose, so we have to fight all the rats and see all the blood on the floor and all the mayhem, and we get all the loot. Okay, so yeah, that's an example of where spelling is a problem. So double check your values as they change, and double check your spelling.
Those rats are murder crazy. You gotta kill him before I come out.
Okay, and then Python, there's a really common bug with not having the tabs in the right spaces. So with Python, you create a for loop, and all the code that's supposed to be contained within that for loop needs to be all indented to the same indentation level. So, and you'll see more on the examples, it'll make more sense then. But yeah, that's a common bug, and a lot of times I've done it too. We're all guilty of it, and it's a simple fix. You just got to make sure all your code lines up the way it's supposed to. Now, there's also indentation with functions. So when you declare a function, all of the code contained in that function needs to also be indented to the same level. Otherwise, it'll like execute before anything else, or it won't execute enough times, or yeah, there's just a bunch of different things that can go wrong with that. We don't have a lot of room. We should have hit a shop on the way here, but that's okay. It's just money. You get a lot of money in this game, and really, we'll start getting drops of like millions of dollars eventually. Or maybe not millions, but we'll be making millions in no time. So, and hundreds of millions. Anyways, so yeah, Python, common bug, indentation. So indentation is really important. And we gotta go
Don't hold back.
upstairs. Oh, upstairs. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else can cause. For file input and output, a common bug is not having the correct file name or the correct file path. So when we talk about file input and output, which is another really important concept,
Oh, man,
we'll talk about that
good
bug.
to be out of there. Come say hi.
And that's why they put you behind this glass, because your first instinct is to kill the rat, but that's actually Glenn. So, you come through the unlocked door. I don't think you can actually kill him, but don't try it. I mean, you got a green reticle, so that's indicative
I am
of a friend.
confused. You are a rat.
Yep, thanks to my main man Terry, he saved my life. Come on, we gotta find him.
And he has a cool mustache too, so there's that. But anywho, so yeah, debugging. Let's see, what other kind of bugs are there?
Ah, no! Terry! They got him!
One moment. Please explain just your whole deal.
Terry was my best bud. When my human body got sick, he vowed to save me. He took some EchoNet courses and found this lab, and pretty soon he figured out how to transfer human brains to rat bodies. All these other rats here are escape failed experiments. Terry had to test the brain transfer process before he tried it on me, so he used bandits and captured Malawan soldiers. Quick! Our only chance to save Terry is to get his brain into a rat's body. I'll chew it out!
Would it not be simpler? No. The feast has already begun.
Now grab his brain so we can bring him back to life.
Yeah, remember when Marcus had us put a human spine in an electrical conduit? Yep, we do gruesome
Great,
stuff.
the brain transfer tank is downstairs.
Ah, but Gary's cage is in the way. Hey, Gary!
Malawan war criminal. Honestly, I think he ate people before he got ratched up. Flip that switch to drop his cage so we can get to the transfer tank.
Obvious mini boss fight. Alright. Bye, Gary.
Free! I'll guzzle your soul milk! I'll break
Actually, he's
your
pretty
toenails.
gruesome if you look at
I'll
him.
spoon feed you your own tongue!
Hey, Gary got out. I'm gonna stay up here and maybe you go kill him and do the brain transfer thing.
Okay, we're gonna test out this new gun. Yep, see there's a skull on the mini-map. He is a new mini-boss. Oh, whoa. Something hit us from up there. Alright, anyways. Little wretch. Yeah, look at how this thing thumps. Oh, did Gary get up there? Come on down here, Gary. What are you doing messing around? I guess Gary can fly. That's kind of unfortunate. I can't get back up there, you... can I? Oh, there he is. Drop the hammer. Alright, so another bug that I wanted to talk about, and we are going to go a little long on this one, because I want to finish the side mission and kind of finish my thought on debugging. This is just a very introductory talk on debugging.
Terry's dead. Awesome. Now go put Terry's brain into the transfer tank. Time lost is Terry lost.
Okay, and also there's other things. I think they're running around upstairs. Whatever. They'll come attack us when they can. But anyways, another common bug is when you're trying to cast variables into other variable types, you can get something known as truncation. So an example of this would be, say you have a float variable or a double. They both have decimal spaces. And you try to cast it to an int variable. Now, an int variable doesn't have decimal spaces, so if there was any partial part of the number, like say 0.5, 0.6, or point whatever, that actually gets truncated off when you cast it, and so you lose that partial value of the variable. So let's say you're trying to convert, and I don't know why you would do this. I've done it, so there are situations, but let's say you're trying to cast 1.5 into an int, so then it would just become a 1, and then you're trying to use it again for the 0.5 value. Well, you lost that 0.5 because you cast it from a float or a double into an int. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. And I remember doing that mistake when, oh, and it's downstairs. Let me focus here. I did that mistake, I want to say during an image manipulation program. So we were mimicking functions like you could find, wait, it's down? But that way. Oh, we just went the wrong way. Anyways, this is the chamber we're looking for. So let's put the brain on the thing, and yeah, so something to be aware of is truncation.
There's already a fresh ratch body in there. I don't know how Terry gets the ratch brain out, but I did see him sharpening an ice cream scoop the other day.
I will now merge man and beast with the press of a button.
Terry, it's Glenn! Can you understand me?
Talk to Terry.
He's just having some trouble adjusting. Try talking to him. Remind him that he's a human in there.
You there. Form is meaningless. It is what you do with that form. You are no Ratch. You are Terry.
Alive. Glenn? I'm alive! And I'm a Ratch! You brought me back! I'm alive!
Terry, we did it, buddy! We survived! Hey, rescuer, I got a thank you present for you. Okay, so I finally found the little rubber thing that goes in your thumb, and you are not gonna believe where... Whoa, talking Ratch. I am not caught up on this. Actually, you know what? Don't tell me. Plausible deniability. I'm just going to do some CEO stuff and look the other way. We found that cool Atlas weapon prototype when we moved into the lab, but it only works with, you know, hands and stuff. So enjoy!
Also, you might have noticed that my Skag pet keeps puking up ammo. So that's a cool mechanic about Skags. They do that. Oh, and let's listen to the echo log. I promise we're close to being done with the mission.
Alright, right, day 32 of neurotransfer trials. Had a lot of misfires, but that's how you improve, right? Containment on the invalid specimens has proven tricky, but that's the great thing about abandoned labs. There's always cages. As long as we don't lose power, they'll stay put. But this is a corporate headquarters. No way are we losing power.
Yeah, until you get invaded by Malawan. Yep. Okay. So let's see. So I think I covered most of the basic bugs. There's others, of course, and I'll put those examples on the website. But yeah, debugging. Don't get discouraged. You know, just because your program's not working. Like, honestly, I was pretty upset when that Sudoku problem wasn't working.
You
So.
did it! You brought me back!
Hell yeah, man! I wasn't gonna leave you dead on the floor. Oh, right. I kinda ate your body, man. Sorry.
No, I totally get it. I could actually super go for a human body right now.
Rat's pals for life, man!
Rat's pals for life!
All right, cool. So that's the side mission.
What's
And
up?
oh, is he still talking? Yeah, you can't actually hurt him, so that's cool. There's no friendly fire like that on certain people. Yeah. So bugs, if you get them, and you're going to get them, so not really if, when. Don't get discouraged. And actually, although that's a pistol, we already have a pistol. That's a sniper rifle. Honestly, it would be good if we had something like this, but that's not that great. We already have a shotgun, although, actually, let's look at this real quick. Let's show you the gun mechanic, and then we'll probably cut this episode because we've been going a little long. Boom, and that will zap any enemies that it floats nearby. That's supposed to be a play on Will-O-the-Wisp, and it says Kill-O-the-Wisp, I think. Yep, Kill-O-the-Wisp. So Will-O-the-Wisp is a folklore. Look it up if you're interested. Basically, it's a phantom type thing that hangs out in forests that lures people to their doom. Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool backstory stuff. So anyways, we are definitely over, so I'm going to cut this episode. That's debugging in a nutshell. And like I said, don't get discouraged when you get bugs, because it's going to happen. I mean, it happens to everyone. It's fine, and it's part of learning, too. I mean, sometimes the best thing about bugs is it will teach you to almost never do that mistake again until you do. So yeah, just be aware of it, and until next time, I will see you there. All right, have a good one.